Thank you for joining us to find out more about SJSU Online and how we can be part of your educational journey. My name is Ruel Evangelista, and I am one of 3 enrollment counselors. We also have, I think we have Ray Piñate, he's our director, but we also have our coordinator, Alexa Lopez. Then joining us from the Career Center is Carrie McKnight. And lastly, we have Jaime Abonce and Christopher Padua. And they are your student counselors that are going to share a little bit about their SJSU Online experience. Our other 2 awesome enrollment counselors are Isabella and Joanne, and I'm going to give them the time to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joanne Young, and I'm the enrollment counselor for our online anthropology program and also our interdisciplinary studies, educational, and community leadership program. Just a little bit about myself. I was actually a transfer student to one of the CSUs, so I'm really excited to get to know you all and support you all in your own educational journey. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Isabella Aguilar, super excited to be here. I work with our business administration, economics, and public relations students, and had part of my own journey online due to the pandemic. So definitely understand the need for higher ed and especially having the opportunity online. So excited you all are here with us and we get to share more.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabella and Joanne. A little bit about myself. I am also an SJSU alumnus from 2005. And for me, my educational journey, it's kind of brought me back full circle to where it all started for me. My journey included a part of my life experience that was exciting, rewarding, and challenging all at the same time. In short, I had started a family, married my college sweetheart. I embarked on a career in higher education. I also bought my first home before returning and graduating from San Jose State. So quite the journey there. Some say I pursued my education kind of backwards, and certainly it was not easy. But as I look back at my journey, I think the online option probably would have made things a little easier for me, but I digress. Just some information about San Jose State. We are the first CSU in California, 165-year-old institution. And for me, this campus has grown a lot since I graduated. But what I like to see now, that I didn't see or wasn't paying attention to before, are some of the great achievements and accolades throughout the years that has made SJSU what it is today. U.S. News and World Report ranks us number 4 top university in the West, top university for business programs, number 3 top university for veterans in the West, number 7 top performers in social mobility in the West. But what we're most proud of is being ranked number 1 transformative university by Money Magazine. And part of that achievement has been made possible by our Transformation 2030 campaign, which is kind of paving the way for the future of our university. SJSU Online is proud and honored to be part of that future and the 2030 campaign. And we have specific goals and outcomes as part of that campaign. But the number 1 goal is to engage and educate. Like I said, we're the first CSU campus, but we're also the first to provide a dedicated team of individuals that will assess just our SJSU Online students. We will help them find the right program, assist in the application process, guide them through guide them to the first day of classes. Your enrollment counselors, myself, Joanne and Isabella, will connect with each one of you one-on-one, so we can understand their educational goals and plans, and we will provide that individualized support throughout the admissions process. Basically, we want you to feel comfortable and confident heading into the first day of your online classes. SJSU Online also has an academic support team to help students with registration each semester. They will also help monitor your progress and create a roadmap leading to your graduation. At the end of the day, SJSU Online students will have the opportunity to complete the same bachelor's degree as if you attended SJSU on campus. You will have the access to the same faculty, the same curriculum, and you will earn your degree from an accredited university while participating 100% online. Exciting. So today we're going to provide you with an overview of SJSU Online. Joanne is going to provide you information on the programs and the admissions requirements. Isabella will talk about the class schedules, your available start dates, as well as the tuition and financial aid. Then we'll hear from Carrie McKnight from our Career Center, and then our student ambassadors, Christopher and Jaime, will share their SJSU Online experience. And then lastly, we will have a question session, if you will, at the end. So if you have any questions at any time during our presentation, then please share your questions in the chat and we will address them later. Alexa will dictate those questions and will provide you with the answers. And I don't know about you, if I don't write my questions down, I'm gonna forget. So as they come up to you, just type them in the chat.
Right. Thank you, Ruel, for starting us off and sharing even about your own story. So we actually launched with 4 programs when we first started. Now, just look at this list here. We have 7 programs that are available 100% online, and exciting to see how we're growing. So to just get on to what we currently have with the 7 programs, we have a Bachelor's of Arts in Anthropology, and that goes into our social, cultural, economic, and political parts of society, both past and present. We offer a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics, and that allows students to study human behavior, markets, organizations, and other aspects of social life. We offer a Bachelor's of the Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Educational and Community Leadership, and that has a built-in social justice lens into its coursework to help students advocate for themselves, students, and others within the educational community. And we also have a Bachelor's of Science in Information Science and Data Analytics, and that allows students to build connections between data, technology, and understanding how people with diverse backgrounds and cultures interact with each other within a technological context. We offer a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, where students will understand business fundamentals to effectively lead and manage teams, divisions, companies, to just achieve the organization's mission. We also offer a Bachelor's of Science in Public Health, where students will learn about promotion of health and well-being of populations, along with other factors influence human health. And lastly, we offer a Bachelor's of Science in Public Relations, where students will go over strategic communication disciplines that focus on managing and maintaining relationships between an organization and its various stakeholders. Now, that's a lot, but these are exciting programs. So if you're not sure which one's right for you, or if you aren't seeing anything that you're interested in at the moment, go ahead and connect with our team. We're happy to work with you and give you more details to explore your options. Now, with that said, we can hop into the admissions requirements. And as a CSU, we follow the CSU guidelines when it comes to admissions. We would be looking at whether students have 60 transferable units, a 2.0 GPA or higher, and the completion of the Golden 4, which is just listed on the screen here. But in addition to the general requirements, just know that each program may have its own specific requirements. So just reach out to either Isabella, Ruel, or myself for more information. And lastly, we do require an application to be completed for admissions consideration, and is done through Cal State Apply. If you've completed the application before, that's great. But for those of you who haven't, it's all right. We're going to be here to support you along the way. So with that, we've really talked about the programs and the admissions requirements. So we can talk a little bit more about the schedule of classes.
Yeah, Joanne, and I'm happy to talk a bit more about that with our students. So thank you again for talking about our programs and what's needed to get started. I am excited to share the way that we structure these programs. So for the most part, we have 5 opportunities for students to take classes. These 5 opportunities are a semester calendar, but we added a bit of a twist to it. So there are 8-week sessions to our courses. What this means is that students are taking 1 to 2 classes at a time every 2 months. This is the equivalent of taking 2 to 4 classes per semester. And we found that this format gives our students not only the freedom to manage other life responsibilities, but also be able to feel like they have a manageable workload, and also see themselves make progress towards their degree. So really excited about that, and also the opportunity to take asynchronous or synchronous courses. This will depend on the program that you are enrolling into. So again, we want to encourage to get connected with us so we can discuss what this might look like for you. And with that being said, that does also pertain to the available start terms. I know a lot of students are excited that today was when the spring 2024 application has opened up. So that is live for most of our programs at this point, and will be available through November 15th. We do accept applications on a rolling admissions basis as well. So again, for now, it is the spring 2024 semester followed by the summer 2024 term. And again, this may vary depending on your program. We also recognize that students have a lot going on in their lives. So really just want to work together and support you to find the best timeline for you to start. With that being said, that also ties into financial aid, which we know is an important topic for a lot of our students. So that tuition rate can be dependent on the program that you're looking to study, as well as how many classes you're taking a semester. We've estimated the annual cost to be anywhere from $6,750 to about $14,850. And some financial aid resources or financial assistance available include the free application for federal student aid. So highly encourage our students to complete that as soon as possible. Doing so may open up some opportunities such as the federal Pell Grant, any student loans, the California Cal Grant, and SJSU scholarships as well. So there are a variety of ways that you can get some tuition assistance here. And with that being said, I know Carrie McKnight has some great information about the Career Center as well. So Carrie, can I pass this off to you to see what resources are available?
Yes, thank you so much, Isabella.
Awesome.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Again, my name is Carrie. I'm one of the career counselors in the SJSU Career Center, and I'm here this evening to give you just a bit of an overview of the Career Center in terms of our services or resources, events that we offer for our students. And we know all of you as prospective transfer students, your career and your career goals are important to you. So we want to share a little bit of information about the Career Center. So what do we do? In the Career Center, we help students with their career development, their career planning during their time with us, and also beyond. We do support our alumni as well. And some of the things that we offer to support our students with career development is helping students do some exploration with your career, connecting your career to major, and helping you think about what careers would be a good fit for the major that you choose. We help students search for jobs and internships. Many of you might be thinking about doing an internship. We can help support you in that process of landing an internship. We help students with resume writing, cover letters, how to develop LinkedIn profiles, how to use LinkedIn. And we work with our students to help you prepare for job interviews or internship interviews, helping you develop a strong professional network, developing a brand. And then if you're thinking maybe you might want to continue your education after a bachelor's degree, we also support students in exploring graduate school options. And so next slide. So how do we do this? We have various different ways of supporting students and working with our students, and we have virtual options. We are a hybrid office, so we are continuing with all of our virtual options. So we have virtual appointments for one-on-one career counseling sessions. That's when you can meet with a career counselor to talk about, again, maybe what are your career goals, helping you think about how your major connects to different careers or occupations, working one-on-one with a career counselor to develop your resume or do a mock interview. So with lots of different one-on-one types of career counseling sessions offered virtually that you can work with us. We also work with students in groups. So every semester throughout the academic year, we offer a variety of virtual workshops. And these can vary from things like how to prepare for a job fair or resume writing workshops, or how do you do networking, or how do you find an internship, how do you explore careers. So we have a variety of workshops that students can sign up for and attend, all virtual options. And then finally, we have ways of connecting our students to employers. We're really fortunate where we're located. We have very strong employer partnerships all throughout the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond. And we offer virtual information sessions where students can come online and meet with employers to learn about different jobs and internships and find out about companies and organizations. We also offer a variety of job fairs, in person and virtual. So if you happen to be in the local area, you're also welcome to come to any of our in-person events. And we also offer virtual options to help you connect with our employers and employer partners. And next slide. And we offer a variety of online tools, or we call them career apps. And these are available on the Career Center website. And all students have access to these career apps. One of our biggest ones, most popular ones, is SJSU Handshake. This is our online job board where students can search for jobs and internships. The benefit of using Handshake is the employers on there are posting jobs and internships just looking for San Jose State students or alumni. So it's a job board just for our students and our alumni. Also on Handshake, you can sign up for any of the events I mentioned, the employer information sessions, all the workshops and programs that we offer. You can sign up for those on Handshake. We also offer an online community called SJSU Squared Mentoring and Meetups. And this is where our students can connect with our alumni through the platform. Alumni sign up on the community, and students can connect with them for career advice, maybe informational interviewing. There's also a mentoring program that our students could sign up for to connect with our alumni. We offer Focus 2, another online tool where students can take career assessments like personality assessments, interest inventories, for example, and also research careers, learn more about occupations, again, kind of think about different ways you might want to use your major. We have an online tool called VMOC, where students can upload their resume through our website through VMOC and get automatic feedback on their resume. Again, you can also meet with us individually in the Career Center for resume reviews. And then finally, we have a tool called Big Interview. And this is where our students can go online to learn about interviewing. So it's an interview prep tool. You can watch videos, read curriculum, plus you can record yourself doing a mock interview through that platform. So we offer a lot of online virtual resources for our students to help you prepare you for your career goals and life after college. And thank you. And I'll turn it back to Ruel. Thank you.
Sorry, I was muted. But thank you, Carrie, for all that great information. What I want to do now is just introduce you to Christopher Padua and Jaime Abonce. Christopher is actually one of our students for the interdisciplinary studies with the educational and community leadership program. And Jaime is, I believe he's like maybe 1 year into the information science and data analytics program. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to ask some questions with Jaime and Chris, and they're going to share their experiences. So let's start with Chris. Chris, what made you choose SJSU Online, and what was the why did you select the program that you're doing right now?
Ooh, great question. For me, I chose SJSU Online because it gave me the flexibility to complete my degree while also still kind of retaining my deep connection with the SJSU campus and area that I dearly love.
Got you. Thank you, Chris. And Jaime, I know you're probably like 1 year into your program. What made you choose SJSU Online and why your program?
So a little history about how I got here is I'm a transfer student. I transferred from San Jose City College, and even when I was there, I took mostly online classes just because I'm about an hour away from San Jose, and having the online option just made it easier for me to handle my classes. So when my academic advisor suggested going into the SJSU online program and enrolling into information system and data analytics, it just felt like something that I should do, that this is something that was made for me, since I was already taking online classes and I already had history in taking data centered classes, and it just fit perfectly.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Jaime, since like I said, you're like a year into the program, can you kind of share a week in the life of what an SJSU Online student would experience through Canvas?
Oh, gladly. So typically the week would start with just getting organized for the week. You would see what assignments are due, get an idea of how to prioritize, see what due dates, the exams, the lecture times, and structure your week around that. Make sure you hit specific times and specific goals throughout the week, and just develop a realistic plan as you're going through it. And it'll feel like kind of just doing like a little checklist as you're going through the week. And in the beginning, it may be a bit overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, but after a week or two, you'll start getting the routine, trust me. And pro tip, save the calendar tab on Canvas. That is such a useful tab to have available to you at any time.
Awesome. Thank you, Jaime. Now, Chris, you've been in your program for some time now. I believe you're graduating next fall. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. So you've kind of gone through the whole, SGS online experience already with Canvas. What was your experience like?
Well, I loved every minute of it. And typically my weeks start very similar to Jaime's, where I actually start on Sunday, just kind of looking out upon my week and seeing what deadlines are up ahead, because I try to stick to the G.I. Joe line of thinking, which is knowing is half the battle. For me, Mondays are typically quiet for me, as I like to practice something called minimalistic Mondays, where I usually start off slow with only like 2 to 5 academic tasks, where once they're done, the rest of the day is mine. The rest of the week is more evenly distributed, where I usually attend classes at night on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I kind of average at around like 3 to 5 hours per day, kind of just depending on the workflow that week, whether it's like a final project or just a regular kind of assignment kind of deal. The most important thing, of course, is kind of keeping a steady pace on my assignments and knowing when each assignment is due, whether that's Friday or Sunday. And then just as a final reminder, school is mostly a marathon, not a race. So just be sure to keep up and stay up.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. From what I'm hearing from both of you are consistency, scheduling yourself accordingly, and most importantly, due dates and deadlines. Doing an online course, it's kind of self-paced, so you always want to be aware of, when your assignments are due. So that's very important. Now, with that said, Chris, as you've gone through everything, I'm sure questions came up. So how do you ask for help, or where do you go for support throughout the semester?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, it first starts out with me just identifying what I even need help with, and then trying to find the right person to help me solve that. But when it's just like more so emotional support, I always turn to my friends and family. But if it's strictly an academic issue, of course, always, at least letting your professors know what's going on behind the scenes really helps. And more so when you tell them ahead of time for them to help you.
Gotcha. And what about you, Jaime? You started, was it difficult for you to, get help or find answers?
In the beginning, it was a bit difficult just because it's very open. Like, it's an online program, and you tend to think that it's a very small space, but no, it's online, so it's so many resources are available. It's hard to narrow it down. Similar to Chris, there's a lot of resources, and the difficult part is finding like who to contact. But also, don't be afraid to just contact someone. As long as you contact someone, they should be able to still guide you on the correct path to where you can find a solution. So don't be afraid. Contact someone, your academic advisor, a counselor, like your professors. Contact someone, they'll be glad to help you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I was that student. I was always the one that didn't want to ask the question, right? But I've learned over the years, the worst question to ask is not a question at all. So thanks for sharing that with me. But and thanks for sharing, your experience. I hope that was, useful and helpful to, students considering our online programs. And I can't wait for you guys to, see you both graduate and walk across that stage, to your future. Thank you, Carrie, for sharing all that great information about the Career Center. And then also thank you, Joanne and Isabella, for sharing all that great information. Now, I know you all have some questions. I've been seeing the chat. We're going to get to those in a second. So we're going to take this time to answer any questions you have. Please feel free to keep dropping your questions in the chat. If you have any questions for the student ambassadors, please do that. If you have questions for Carrie, she can probably address those, but we're going to provide her contact information in the chat as well, so you can contact her directly. And then Alexa, again, she's going to provide all of our contact information in the chat. But if you have any specific program questions that you would like to addressed, then feel free to schedule an appointment with either Joanne, Isabella, or myself. So please take a screenshot or write down our contact information. As you can see, Isabella will help students with the business administration, public relations, and the economics program. Joanne will help you if you're interested in anthropology and the, I'm just gonna say ed leadership because that's a long title. So, and then I will help any students with information science and data analytics, as well as the public health program. So with that said, Alexa, what's our first question?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. One that was just asked that ties into another question that was asked earlier. Let's start with you, Isabella. Do you mind talking a little bit about the payments, financial aid? I had a question regarding the $450 per unit and also the payment plan. So do you mind covering that information briefly once more for those who may have joined late?
Yeah, so the $450 per unit, each program has an estimated cost. So for most of them, it is about $450 a unit, and that is for all of the classes in this program. So you will be taking, I think this student mentioned area R, S, and V. So those classes are included in this curriculum. So that would all be priced at that same price point. And it's important to note that the price point will be tied to the program or consistent with the program that you're enrolling in. So your enrollment counselor will have more information about what that cost might look like for you. But I am happy to share that all of our programs do offer payment plans, or SJSU Online does offer payment plans for all of the terms. So yeah, that is definitely an opportunity that our students are able to take advantage of.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Isabella. Ruel, I had a couple of questions in the chat regarding ISDA, written exams, prerequisites. Do you mind touching briefly on that? And then I can also drop your contact information in the chat too, so that the students who are asking about that can follow up specifically regarding their situation.
Of course, thank you, Alexa. So if you're talking about, how some of the exams or tests are kind of administered, for the most part, it all depends on your program and your professors, of course. But for the most part, the exams will be done online. They're not proctored, and they're typically open book, open notes, and they are timed. So always be aware of that. I can't tell you how many times I ran a little longer than when I needed to when I took my online test. So yeah, hope that helped.
Thank you very much. Next question for Joanne. Joanne, there were a few specific situations, students dropping their information in the chat regarding the schools they have gone to, the different classes they have attended. What would you recommend for students who want to know if their credits transfer here to SJSU Online? What would you recommend their next steps be?
Yes, so we offer a just unofficial review of your transcripts, and these are just going to be unofficial transcripts. No need to order us like the official ones. So my recommendation is to connect with your enrollment counselor. And again, our contact information is in this page, and we do have it broken down to the program. So feel free to just schedule an appointment through our calendar links too.
Thank you. And I also dropped them again in the chat for everybody to reference. They do have email addresses, but of course, if you want to schedule, that appointment, they have their Google Calendar links too that I've also included here in the chat. My next question is for Carrie regarding internships. Do you mind, recapping once again for students who maybe had missed your portion of the slides, internships for anthropology as in Los Angeles, or just internships in general? How can students move forward to figure out what their options are regarding internships?
Yeah, definitely. So you can, a couple of things we advise is, meeting with us in the Career Center to talk about whether or not you want to do an internship, would be the good timing for that. And then we could work with you in terms of your applications and where to look. As I mentioned, Handshake is our #1 job board and internship board where employers are posting opportunities for students. And we have internships pretty much for all of our majors. As I mentioned, we have got really strong partnerships all throughout the state. So I would say there probably might be a little more postings for the San Francisco Bay Area, but not necessarily. I do work with students in programs, other online programs. We have graduate online programs, for example, that I work with as well. And I've seen a lot of opportunities in Southern California for students in other parts of the state. So I think there's our opportunities throughout the state. But if we can also help you make some connections through our employers, and also talking to your faculty and your programs. Sometimes they have industry contacts and suggestions as well. So there's a lot of resources to help, students find internships, throughout wherever regionally you're located. We have resources to help support you with that process.
Thank you, Carrie. I also dropped Carrie's contact information in the chat once again, too. So feel free to reach out if you want more specific information or want to set up an appointment with her. My next question is for Isabella. What are the office hours? If students want to reach out to you, what are the office hours for our enrollment counseling team?
Yeah, so we are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then Fridays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So happy to connect with students. We're very much aware that some students may need to adjust their schedules or what have you. So we definitely want to work with you and stay in communication and be able to find a time that works best for you. So happy to, accommodate different schedules and work with you accordingly so we can get that time to work on your degree progression together.
Thank you, Isabella. Ruel, I have a question for you. I had a student reach out asking about graduation and the graduation experience and if they would be able to participate in the in-person graduation. I know you played a special role, you got to see that. So do you mind sharing a little bit of your experience with graduation this past term and any general information about what students can expect as far as graduation and crossing that finish line?
Yeah, so you definitely can attend graduation in person if you would love to. We would love to have you here to actually meet, in person. And we do have program specific graduations. I know information science and data had a nice one. The one I attended was for the Ed Leadership Program, and it's a small group of students, but it was very intimate. I got to talk with some of the parents and some of the students, and just watching their experiences and how they interact with her. The one thing that was common throughout that whole night was, the joy of seeing each other in person, being able to hug somebody, being able to talk to somebody in person. So definitely, graduation is always a great opportunity for you to to finish off what you're going to be starting here with us. Alexa, before you go, there's some questions I saw in there. Real quick, how many units are there in a semester? Depends on you. The total programs are usually about 120. But if you go full time, it's typically around 12 units. Anything less than that would be part-time or quarter time.
Thank you. We'll circle back to Isabella. If a student has enough credits upon transferring, is it possible to finish within the year?
It certainly could be an option. I think it does depend on, the courses being offered during those terms, but students it's a question a bit outside of my area of expertise, but I do know that we try to honor as many of students' credits as possible. So definitely a conversation that can be had further.
To add on to that, do you mind defining a little bit about what the enrollment counselor's position is and how that kind of ties into what the advisors do and any overlap, just to kind of talk a little bit about what students can expect from you as an enrollment counselor?
Yeah, definitely. So one of our primary roles is to really just support the student in getting started with the application. So whether you are just curious about our programs and want some general information, or you've done some research and you have questions, but you're very interested in the program, wherever you fall on that spectrum, if you've already applied, we want to connect with you and we want to work with you to ultimately get you ready for the first day of classes. So as Joanne had mentioned, we will offer unofficial transcript reviews where we mainly scan for the admissions requirements, which are posted on our website. And we went through them briefly here in this presentation. So making sure that you have what you need to be admissible. And depending on where that conversation goes, we are able to continue supporting you in any to-do items and follow up with you so that we can start you, if not for the upcoming term, for a future term. And we really just want to be, a support. And I like what our team has mentioned in the past, kind of being like an accountability buddy, just helping you progress towards making it to the second half of your undergrad. And the advisors play their role as well, a wonderful role in continuing to support you once a student is enrolled for the program. So once you have been admitted and we've done the official transcript submission, your academic advisor will be the individual to interpret your credit report, interpret how your credits have transferred into the university, and give you that timeline for graduation. Not only provide you that timeline to graduation, but also help you take care of all graduation requirements. So they'll be your expert in making sure that you complete your degree and have everything taken care of.
Thank you, Isabella. Joanne, let's hop over to you. We had a question regarding ed leadership and teaching credentials. Do you mind sharing on the call a little bit about that and how students can find out more information about what their options are if they are interested in pursuing a teaching credential?
Yeah, so you can again feel free to book that appointment with me. We have two different pathways that we can go over. So I'll go ahead and actually drop my calendar link there and we can find some time to go over this in more details. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. I have another question for Ruel. Are there set classes for SJSU online programs specifically, or how does that work?
So each program is going to have, different, requirements. But overall, you're going to be able to, be able to register for your classes. There shouldn't be any issues about waiting list or if the class is available. You should always, always reach out to your academic advisor when you have any questions about your scheduling. But for the most part, you should be able to get all your classes, when they're available during each semester.
Isabella, I have a question regarding the Cal State Apply. Are you able to apply to multiple programs or in person and online? How does Cal State Apply work for somebody who's interested in maybe multiple options?
Yeah, that's a good question. My understanding is that students can apply to, I believe it's 1 or 2 programs per term. So you're able to apply to 1 program per university, but 2 altogether in the semester that you're looking to start. So we definitely, again, want to connect with you and explore what your options are and kind of, again, just talk through those considerations and help you make the best decision for your applications and where you see yourself in your academic journey.
Excellent. Ruel, I saw that you answered this question in the chat, but for the sake of people who may be watching, no worries, no worries. This is good. Thank you. I know there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah.
Is there a unit maximum or how does that work? What are the most classes a student can take?
Well, we definitely want all of our students to be successful. And I know Isabella touched on this earlier, but 12 units is usually the maximum. Then that's considered full time. And also, the 12 units will be considered for financial aid purposes as well. If you would like to take more, then having that discussion with your academic advisor is what you should do. But it's also going to depend on the availability of the classes each semester.
Excellent. Joanne, what are students' next steps? They've watched this, the application, just opened today, very excitingly. What should students do next?
Yeah, so no, for all of you at home, thank you again for attending. So I would recommend, again, our calendars are in the chat. Go ahead and connect with your designated counselor just to cover any other just like program specific requirements, just to make sure that you are all set to start this during the semester that you plan to start in. So connect with your counselor first, and then from there, we'll be more than happy to help walk you through the application process and go over any application specific questions too.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We have a question for our current students, our student ambassadors. So we'll start with you, Jaime. In your experience, are classes online harder or easier than the ones in person? What is your personal experience? And then once you're done, we'll pass it over to Chris too, to just share what his experience has been like.
So based on my personal experience, it kind of depends, to be honest. Some classes can feel a bit easier because you're working around like your own personal schedule, and you just, as long as you hit the due dates, then you're doing fine. Other classes kind of feel like not too different from in-person classes. Like you still got to turn in an essay at a specific time, and you still have to write that essay. So it still feels about the same. It's just that you're going to deal with like different kinds of like difficult scenarios that you'll be like dealing with as you go. Like, for example, you can't exactly ask a professor after a class in person, I had a question about something, can you answer it before the class is over? You have to send an email out, and you might have to wait a little bit till you get a response back. You just kind of have to like organize and structure as you go along.
Chris, what is your experience like?
Very in the same vein of like it is both easier and harder. Easier in the sense that I no longer have to haul myself back to campus if I need to go to office hours. Obviously, I can just simply, request a Zoom appointment or however they prefer. But however, it is harder once again in terms of like classes where because you don't have that kind of physical kind of awareness, and more so than that, deadlines are not explicitly told to you in person. So it's like in your own head, the permanence of, oh, I need to do this soon isn't necessarily there. But the biggest change, of course, is that because these classes are online, a lot of these classes are later at night, so that for those late night workers who are like night owls, it's totally comfy, and that's the way I prefer to work. But for people who prefer to just have things in the afternoon or earlier in the day and then kind of just calm down, it's kind of more clunky, and you'll find yourself really hungry at it at the end of it. So just be aware of that.
Thank you. I have another question for you too. Is it possible to have, and this kind of builds off of your question, Chris, so I'll start with you. Is it possible to have a job while attending SJSU online? How many hours a day do you seem to dedicate that? Like, what is that kind of potential work-life balance like?
Oh, great question, Jen. So for me personally, at least on the purely academic side, I try to dedicate at least 3 to 5 hours per day. Some days, maybe it's just literally the minimum of 2. But for the rest, yes, it is absolutely flexible, where actually Jaime and I worked at the same job. And in fact, going into the next semester, I will be working 2 jobs, both as an ambassador and as another job on campus. So it is absolutely doable. It just, once again, goes back to you and how your schedule is, how much, energy and bandwidth that you can handle.
Excellent. Jaime, do you mind chiming in?
Of course, yeah. My opinion is about the same as Chris. It's kind of just like a balancing act as you're going through. It depends on your schedule. If you're able to properly balance like the workload, you're going to see a lot in the earlier days that they're going to tell you that for every credit, try to dedicate 3 hours. So kind of use that as like a base. And of course, every class is different. You're going to see like more workload possibly for one class compared to another, but it's doable. It's 100% doable. You're able to have a part-time job and keep up with your classes. You just have to organize a bit better to properly like structure the week by week.
Thank you. Joanne, I am going to go back to you. Do you mind explaining and defining a little bit the difference between synchronous and asynchronous classes? And with that said, are all of the classes at specific times, or is this more so do everything on your own time?
That is a great question. So with synchronous, that just means you have a class where it requires you to be in a Zoom session with your classmates and professors. So those have designated times. Asynchronous is more at your own pace. So again, just being aware of your deadlines and being on top of your assignments are going to be important for those types of classes. I know that each program may have different kind of, one may be all asynchronous. There may be some where it has a sprinkle of like Zoom sessions that you would need to attend for certain classes. So those are just things to be aware of, and these are great talking points for when you connect with your counselor, just so that way you can kind of already get a better idea about how you'll be managing your time in the program too.
Excellent. And what about Isabella, summer classes? Are summer classes available for this program? What are the terms like?
Yeah, so for our programs that do offer summer sessions, it is a bit shorter than the semester since it is the summer. You know, we want our students to have a little bit of a break too. So the summer will consist of a 1 8-week session, whereas the semesters fall and spring include 2 opportunities. So again, those 8-week sessions in the fall and spring, most programs offer 2 opportunities to take 1 to 2 classes at a time. And in the summer, you'll have 1 opportunity to take up to 2 classes.
Excellent. I'm seeing a couple of questions. I'm going to pass over to Chris because I know you responded just to say this little piece out loud. Do you mind talking a little bit about the Discord once again? Do you mind, disclosing a little bit about what that's all about and how it could be beneficial to our students who are interested in SJSU Online?
Oh yeah, of course. So the online SJSU Discord is wonderful for connecting with other students, where there are channels for every single program. And in there, of course, you are able to interact with other students or kind of ambassadors like me who can help where we can. We may not have all the answers, but we will definitely direct you to the people who have your answers. And so not only is it a great social tool, but it's just another avenue that is much faster and more kind of upfront than email. So I will thank you, Brian, actually, for dropping the link. But yes, just please join us there. It's always good to have more resources than you need it, because it's the opposite. It's the bigger problem when you don't have many resources. So please hop in and join in.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see, we are at 7:50, so we will begin to wrap this up. Let's see. I guess we can wrap it up with one last question regarding the asynchronous classes. Joanne, we'll hop back to you. Do you know if the students receive deadlines at the beginning of the semester, or they receive deadlines weekly? Or maybe this may be a better question for Chris and Jaime. We'll go to you, Jaime. How does that typically work as far as knowing when these asynchronous classes will be held? What has been your experience?
So my experience has been that as soon as you have access to Canvas, you tend to have an idea of what the week is going to consist of. The professor will have posted due dates, will have posted their office hours. And if not, you'll be able to access the course itself on the side and go there specifically to see if they have, they'll normally have the syllabus available, and you'll be able to see the specific dates for each of the things that will be coming up. And chances are you'll see the whole month in advance. Other times you'll see it by week. It depends on the class itself. And if something is coming up, the professor normally emails a message out to everyone, giving them a heads up. But it may not be the norm, but you will be aware. Like I said, bookmark the calendar page. It is an amazing resource you will have on Canvas.
Excellent, excellent. We'll wrap this up. I'm going to pop it back over to Isabella, who just responded to a student. We're seeing a lot of individualized cases. If you have any questions about re-entry, if you're a returning student, again, what should students' next steps be as we wrap up if they want specific information about their situation? What should students go ahead and do?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to talk it out with somebody. We understand our students have such unique experiences and goals and outcomes, and we do take the time to get to know everybody and again help them through the best scenario that's going to work out for them. So I always encourage students, even if we don't have the particular major that you're looking for, pick something that is closely related or that is an alternative, and just get connected with that counselor, start the conversation. I've definitely had a fair share of students come to me saying, I don't even know where to start. I just kind of found your contact information and, need to be guided in some way. So we're happy to take the time to do that and connect with you. And whether that is, returning to SJSU through SJSU Online or getting you connected to a resource that may be able to help you better, we want to be able to do that and provide you the next steps on your academic journey. So yeah, please don't hesitate to get connected with us. We have multiple opportunities to do so are available over Zoom, phone call, email, whatever works best for the student, we want to meet them there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That is it for our Q&A session. Thank you so much for participating, everyone. Thank you so much for all of your questions, comments. Again, if you think of another question, later on tonight or some point in the future, definitely reach out. You're welcome to, screenshot this slide. You're welcome to reach out after the event if you have more questions. Ruel, any last words as we wrap up this evening?
I wish we can be here longer, but we don't want to take up your whole evening. And that's why we always encourage you to reach out to any one of us, depending on your program. We will be here for you every step of the way until you graduate. So thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you, Carrie, Isabella, Joanne, Alexa, and everyone. I saw some of our program coordinators attending. Thank you for attending. And we'll see you soon. Thank you. Oh, and